Hey there, we're just here in Kelowna in a hotel, and we're going to be opening an event here very shortly. But before we open the event, I wanted to shoot my video because that's my commitment to take and do. Now, I'm going to tell a little bit of a story. My grandmother, bless her soul, passed, 35 years ago. And she was all of 4'2", somewhere in that range. Immigrated to Canada after World War I. And she was just the sweetest little old lady. I have a lot of fond memories about my grandmother. Anyway, my grandmother, like I guess a number of white-haired ladies of that era, she had this fascination with wrestling. And it was wrestling on television. So here, think of this petite 4'2" little English woman who's watching guys on the television like Kiniski, and Google these guys. Kiniski, Haystack, Calhoun, and Andre the Giant. Now, I've met Kiniski. Nice guy, big guy, but nice guy. And I have no doubt that Haystack, Calhoun, and that Andre the Giant were really nice guys as well. But their role in wrestling was they were the bad guy. They were the one that was down there and they were stamping on the back and kicking the guy's head and doing all of that. I don't think any of that stuff was really real. It was all staged. But anyway, my grandmother loved that stuff. Now, I'm going to step away from that story. It still amazes me that she liked that. But when I look at the things that I do, I have some great habits, and I've got some habits that are not so great and that I need to get rid of. And I'm sure that you've got some great habits, and you've got some habits that are not so good to keep as well. For example, how many of you, if you've had a stressful day at work, you go home, you pour yourself a glass of wine, and that's your de-stressor? Now, no judgment, but we know that that happens for a lot of people. Or conversely, how many of you get home after work, drop your stuff by the door, walk in, open the fridge, pop a beer, turn on the television, you got the television in the background, you're drinking the beer, you're not even really paying attention to what's going on there on the television. Those are your habits. And they may have at one point served you, and there's 100 examples, but I'm not going to go through 100 examples. But those are habits that aren't particularly serving you anymore. And I have those kinds of habits as well. Not so much that I come home, pour a glass of wine, or that I come home, turn on the TV, don't watch it, and don't drink beer particularly either. But nonetheless, I do have habits in my life that I would like to get rid of. An example of them that Colette points out to me, and I just used it a couple of times, was saying, and that's just a little thing. I want to just clean up my language around that. But there are lots of other habits that I want to take and get rid of. And I found a great way to take and do that. I've named my habits. So not each one separately, but I've just said, you know what? I'm pulling a Kiniski, or I'm pulling a Haystack Calhoun, or if it's really big, I'm pulling an Andre the Giant. And I picture myself at, 5'10½", 175 pounds. Andre the Giant, I don't know, he was like 7 foot and change. Like he was up there, big guy, 350 pounds, whatever. And I just picture myself, the determination that it's going to take for me to wrestle Andre the Giant down on the floor and take and win the match. And when I think of it that way, it makes tackling those habits that I don't like actually a little bit of fun. And I'd suggest for you, think of things that aren't serving you well in your life. Whether it's that beer after work and watching television, or kicking down and not having conversations with people and not connecting. Maybe it's that glass of wine. Maybe, rather than doing those things, you want to get on a bike, and you want to go for a little bit of a ride, or go for a walk, or connect with a friend and have a conversation that's uplifting and gives you some ideas of things that you want to do, different pursuits, hobbies that you might like. And when you find yourself trapped by going back to that fridge to grab a beverage that maybe is not serving you so well, and it's just become a habit, just remember, you're pulling a Kiniski, you're pulling an Andre the Giant, or you're pulling a Haystack Calhoun. Have those visuals in your mind, give a laugh to the fact that they've showed up in your life, whip them down to the floor, because I know you can do that, win that wrestling match, and establish some new great habits. And guess what? In the process, think of some cool names for your good habits and celebrate those as well. So we're off to take and start an event here momentarily. I hope I've added some value today, and I really look forward to talking to you again soon.